Hello 3D printing friends. Today on the BV3D channel I'll show you 5 of my favorite 3D prints. Some are wacky, some are fun, and some are arguably actually useful. Stick around and we'll get into it right after this. I'm Brian and you are watching BV3D. Hi, welcome back. Okay, so today we're looking at some of my favorite 3D prints. These are things that I printed that are mostly on the wackier side of things. I printed these for my own amusement, and since they made me smile, I thought I'd share them with you too. A couple of them are useful. One of them is decidedly useless. It even has that word in its name, so let's get started, shall we? This is a bust of Julius Caesar. But it's no ordinary bust of Julius Caesar. It's printed in orange PLA. Thus, this is an orange Julius. Is orange Julius still a thing? I mean, when I was growing up, there was like one in every mall. For that matter, are malls still a thing? Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, this is no ordinary orange Julius. Is that going to happen every time I say orange Julius? Apparently so. Okay, so this is no ordinary one of these. This is also a pen holder. So after a long day in the Senate Hall at the Curia of Pompeii, you can safely store your pens and pencils and other implements of a sharp wit right there in Caesar's back. Download it from the link in the description and take a stab at printing one of your very own. Next up, a fine example of biting humor, the Denture nozzle holder. Now this is actually my remix of a model I found on Thingiverse, which has since moved over to printables. The original was designed to hold screwdriver bits, so I modified it to hold 3D printer nozzles, and I printed it out. Then I used a 6mm tap on all the holes, so I could easily screw in the cheap brass nozzles that I had laying around. And then I bolted it together, and now here it is. Swapping cheap nozzles can be a chore. In fact, you might even say it's like pulling teeth. So the next time you feel like swapping nozzles, you can do exactly that. Break out your dentures, pull a tooth, and install it on your printer. All right. Well, if you want to print one of these, there's a link in the description. Now, I think it's time to show you this one. I used to watch reruns of Monty Python's Flying Circus on the public TV station when I was in high school, and there was one sketch in which John Cleese plays the part of a British government employee working in the Ministry of Silly Walks, which is responsible for funding the development of unusual walking styles. As he interviews a person applying for a grant to help develop a silly walk, Cleese himself is walking around in a completely ridiculous manner. And this 3D printed Ministry of Silly Walks clocks perfectly, and often imperfectly, captures those wacky steps while also telling time. It uses a cheap clock mechanism you can get from a hobby or craft store or from Amazon. The face of the clock uses layer-based filament swaps to get the black markings on the white background. See, the numbers and the tick marks are taller than the background, so once your printer starts printing the numbers, you can pause it and swap filament. You can even just print the whole face in white and go over the raised parts with a black marker. There's a link in the description if you have the time to print this one out. Now that you've seen a useful print, how about a useless one? This is a useless box. Now these have been around for a while, and this particular one was a project in an Alien3D UFO mystery box a year or two ago. So what makes it useless? Well, when you flip the switch, a little alien pops out and flips it back. That's it. That's the box. Like a lot of things that are useless, it's also fun. And like a lot of things that are fun, it's also useless. There's a link in the description to the specific UFO box that this came in, so you can download the model files and see the parts list and the instructions. Now you'll have to source the parts yourself though. It's not currently available as a kit on the Alien3D site. And now here's the last 3D print that I want to show you. This one's both fun and useful. It's the VW Microbus pen holder, which I've shown in a shorts video before. Well, the one in the shorts video was blue and white, and this one's orange and white. Now the model I printed is no longer online, but the link in the description is a remix of it and has a few improvements. Now this is one where you print the separate pieces in the colors that you want and then glue them together. So you don't need a fancy printer or special tricks to get a nice two-tone VW Microbus. Although if you do want to fancy it up a little bit, you can do some filament swaps with a silk silver filament to get a chrome trim effect, and that's what I did. But even if you don't do that, this will look cool sitting on your desk holding over 40 of your pens and pencils and stuff. So those are 5 of my favorite prints on the silly side of things. I hope you'll give some of these a try. Big thanks to everyone who supports the channel, whether with channel memberships or by using the links in the description. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing so you don't miss future episodes. Well, 3D printing friends, that's about all the time we have for this one. And now that we're at the end, let's go print something cool.